All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Picture this. You're working Tier 1 IT support, you've just poured your first cup of coffee, and suddenly 50 brand new hires walk through the front door. They all need access to their computers, their emails, highly specific department folders, and local printers. Doing all of that one by one, that would literally take you weeks. So how do you actually survive a day like that?
Think about this for a second. Managing 10,000 or even just 100 computers manually? Yeah, it's absolutely impossible. If you're a network administrator today, you're definitely not running around with a USB drive installing software desk by desk. You need a centralized system to control the chaos.
The answer to that logistical nightmare is Active Directory, or just AD for short. It's essentially the bedrock of your network access and identity management. It is the centralized database where every single person, computer, and security policy in your Windows Server domain lives. It's your ultimate control room. Okay, Section 1, the building block. Users. We're starting at the absolute foundation of the hierarchy here because without user accounts, your network is really just a bunch of expensive, idle hardware. So you've got a new hire. Let's call him Sam Harper. You enter the first and last name, establish your standard login naming convention, and hand out a temporary password. But that final step, checking the box that forces the user to change their password at the next logon, that is an absolutely crucial security best practice. It guarantees that the very first time Sam sits at a computer, he creates a unique password that not even the IT department knows. Now, managing these folks is going to be your daily bread and butter. You'll be resetting forgotten passwords, unlocking accounts, and instantly disabling accounts the second an employee is terminated to protect the company. But here's a massive time saver. Let's say you hire a new IT guy, Mike. You don't build his account from scratch. You just right-click an existing IT worker, hit copy, and boom, Mike instantly inherits all of those specific group memberships and permissions. It's brilliant. Section 2, scaling up with groups. Because even with that copy trick, managing people one by one gets incredibly tedious when your company starts growing. This is a real aha moment. Imagine you've got a secure folder just for HR. The hard way is manually adding all 50 HR employees to that folder's security settings. If someone leaves, you have to remember to go in and remove them. The smart way? You create a single group called HR Team, assign the folder permissions to that group just once, and then simply drop your 50 users inside it. By dropping users into something like this sales team group, they instantly inherit all the permissions associated with that specific team. If that group has read and write access to a shared drive, those users automatically get it. Remove them from the group and they instantly lose it. It makes your access management so clean and granular. Just to quickly clarify, you've got two main types of groups here. A security group is strictly for assigning permissions and controlling access, folders, apps, that sort of thing. A distribution group, on the other hand, is literally just for communication. It acts as an email distribution list, so blasting out an email to all Tier 1 tech support, you'd use a distribution group for that. Moving right along to Section 3, organizing chaos using OUs. Now that we have users grouped up, we need a logical way to organize the groups themselves. Think of organizational units, or OUs, literally just like folders that stop your AD from turning into the Wild West. Instead of a massive, messy list of 1,000 employees, you create OUs based on departments, like sales or IT, or maybe by physical locations, like Branch 1 and Branch 2. You then neatly tuck your users, groups, and even computer hardware into these folders. Here's the coolest part. OUs actually define a user's digital environment. If an employee physically transfers from Branch 1 to Branch 2, you just click and drag their user account into the new Branch 2 OU. Just like that, you've automatically revoked their access to the old local printers and granted them access to the new ones. It is seamless. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the power of group policy. This is it. This is the true superpower of an IT administrator. A group policy object, or GPO, is basically a centralized rule that dictates exactly how your network systems behave. You link these policies directly to your OUs. GPOs let you magically push out security configurations and software to thousands of machines, and you never even have to leave your desk. Inside a GPO, you'll find two main buckets. Computer configuration is tied directly to the hardware itself, like forcing a security update onto a specific laptop no matter who's typing on it. User configuration follows the actual person. So if you set up a mapped network drive for a user, that drive is going to pop up whether they log in from their own desk or a random laptop in the break room. It's honestly wild what you can automate with this.
You can silently deploy Google Chrome to an entire department overnight. You can push a strict security policy that completely blocks external USB drives. You can automatically map network folders the second someone logs in. You can even force a mandatory, unchangeable company desktop wallpaper. The possibilities are endless.
Now, a quick, super important technical caveat. If you're deploying software through group policy, you cannot use your standard .exe files. AD requires the installer to be in the .msi format. If a software vendor only gives you an exe, you're going to have to use a third-party tool to convert it to an MSI before you can push it out. Normally, machines just quietly update their group policies in the background or when they restart. But what if you push a critical security fix and you need it on a specific machine right this exact second? You just open up the command prompt on that computer and run gpupdate/force. That immediately tells the machine to grab your latest policy settings.
All right, almost done. Section 5, under the hood with the attribute editor. Let's look at how AD feeds data to the rest of your enterprise apps. When you pop open a user's properties, you'll see a massive tab of data fields called the attribute editor. Filling these out carefully is a total game changer. For example, adding job titles and departments lets other software generate uniform email signatures for the whole company. Filling in the manager field is actually what builds those fancy organizational charts you see inside Microsoft Teams. You can even set up proxy addresses, allowing one person to seamlessly receive emails from multiple different aliases in a single inbox.
So, let's wrap this up. Active Directory is way more than just a digital phone book. Managing your users, groups, and OUs the right way and tying it all together with group policy is exactly what keeps a massive enterprise network secure and humming along. It takes an impossible manual job and turns it into a streamlined science. I want to leave you with this final thought. By mastering these building blocks, you now control the entire domain from a single console. You've got this incredible centralized power right at your fingertips to change the working environment of thousands of users with just a click. So the real question is, what will you automate next? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.